Alright guys, it's been like 1,000 fucking years, but here we are at the Resident Evil 4 Q&As for the VAs. Cause Resident Evil 4 didn't get any behind the scenes production questions or anything else, so for the most part, this is just a copy and paste from the Resident Evil 6 one, so the questions might be the fucking same. In fact, they are the fucking same. So, without further ado, let's just get back to introductions. So, starting with...
This is Lindsey, aka SacredTear, and I voiced Ada Wong. I think I also voiced some Ganados and whatever the heck else was going around, but I don't remember, so... Okay, let's go.
Hi guys, this is Shanice Turner, known as I'm True to Me, and I play Hunnigan in Resident Evil 4 Spood.
Hello, I'm Joe Gaskill, and in Resident Evil 4 The Abridged Spood, I was the voice of Ramon Salazar, along with a couple other Ganados and Zealots.
Hey guys, my name is Shaun Clark of The Ward Productions. I voiced Leon S. Kennedy, the alternate Leon S. Kennedy in this show. As you can hear, my voice is awful and terrible because I am sick, so I do apologize for that. But yeah, here I am. Let's do this.
And you guys know who I am, but for the sake of being redundant, I'm Dante, DarkAbridgerEX. I do everything in this fucking spoon in the production. As for people I've voiced, Leon S. Kennedy, the usual way I voice Leon. I did fake Hunnigan with the pitch up, it changer voice thingamabobber thing. I did Mendes with another pitch changer down. I also did Sadler, good old awesome Sadler. And I know I did El Gigante and some... Oh my god! This just in. Krauser isn't in the credits. I put the cast in a notepad of what I voiced and just looked at the credits really quick. And Krauser's not there. But just so you know, I voiced Krauser. I did him. And I'm pretty sure I slightly used a voice changer, but I did Krauser. It's there. Oh yeah, and we also forgot another role that wasn't in the credits. 2 characters at once, Dante, how could you? I mean, it goes without saying, but I also voiced the merchant. With the pitch changer, of course. And I did El Gigante. I was gonna mention that. And then I did Negro, the name I gave Salazar's black-hooded slave. I also did Sparky the dog! Ow! And various other etc. roles of the generic enemies.
Question 1. How did you get involved with the series?
Once upon a time, there were auditions for a thing. I believe it was Resident Evil 6. No, it wasn't Resident Evil 6. We're not even going to Resident Evil 6, man. It was for Resident Evil 7? No, it was 6. Was it 6? It was 6. I think so. Hold on, wait. Where is it? Where's the thing? Oh, yeah. It was Resident Evil 6. I think. Yeah, it was Resident Evil 6. Because that was the one where they were just like, yeah, Jill doesn't exist anymore, apparently, but Sheva does. So, yeah. Resident Evil 6, there were auditions for one of the spoods that Dante runs. And I saw that, Ada was available to audition for, even though I really wanted to audition for Sherry. So what I did was I auditioned for Ada because I was just like, man, I like Ada, and apparently I can kinda sorta do her voice. So I was like, hey, I'm gonna go and audition for Ada Wong. I'm gonna go and audition for her. And so, ever since, Dante has been roping me into his magical adventures whenever I'm around, because unfortunately, sometimes life just consumes the crap out of me, and health problems occasionally and all that good stuff. Yeah.
I actually got involved with the series about 6,000 years ago when Dante first posted it on the Voice Acting Alliance, and I auditioned for Ada, and I got her. Even though listening back to my audition sounds like absolute shit, but hey, I don't know, I guess he thought I was good. So anyway, I was cast, and I waited, and then I never heard back from him. Silly Dante. Somehow I guess I subscribed to him on YouTube at some point because I got an email saying like, oh, hey, he's posting some videos. Actually, it was a Resident Evil 6 Spood video, and I kind of answered this actually in the Resident Evil 6 question and answer section. But anyway, so he was posting that, and I was like, this is great. By the way, what about Resident Evil 4? And he was like, oh shit, it's you. You're my Ada. And I was like, that's right, I am. By the way, am I still Ada? And I guess it was just good timing because the Ada that he had, I think, faded out or whatever happened to her or them. I don't know. So anyway, we got back in touch, and I became Ada again. That was actually for 6. But I guess I got the job back for 4 as well. So here I am, and I'm back. Thanks, Dante.
I first got involved with Resident Evil Spood Edition was when Dante had a casting call on Behind the Voice Actors for Resident Evil 6. I auditioned for Hunnigan and got the part, and just decided to reprise my role for Resident Evil 4 and hopefully for future Resident Evil games. But hey, who knows? Dante knows.
I got involved by using a website called Behind the Voice Actors, which I nowadays no longer use, but I noticed that there was a series going around parodying Resident Evil 4, and at the time I was still replaying the hell out of the Mercenaries minigame, and I figured, okay, I might as well audition for that, and I realized I couldn't really do that many of the characters' voices except for one, and that happened to be Salazar, and I ended up auditioning for him with the best that I could do, and I ended up getting cast in the series.
Well, Dante asked me on Skype, and the rest was history.
This has potential to be a really long story, but I'll try to make it short. About 10 years ago, I created a machinima using Resident Evil 4 called Days of Our Lives Resident Evil. Dante had seen that show and he became a fan, and that turned out to be one of his inspirations to make his own machinima, his spoods, using Resident Evil 4, 6, and others. And so I had to stop making videos for the better part of 8 years, unfortunately, because, life and whatnot. But about a year ago, I came back to it, and I started posting videos again, and Dante had noticed my return. So he reached out to me, offered his voice to my work, just seeing if I had any open roles, which I did. So so I had him start doing some voices for me, and he had a good idea to kind of have a cameo between our two Leons, since we both do a Resident Evil machinima in a similar style. And yeah, that's when my Leon comes in and kind of crossovers into his universe, and we'll be having another crossover into my show down the road, so keep an eye out for that. And that's pretty much it. So that's how I got involved with the series. It's not a big, impactful part, but there's quite a bit of history in that, and hopefully you guys find that a little interesting. And hopefully this isn't the last time you guys will see me in his work. We'll see what happens.
Well, depending on how you interpret this question, how I got involved with the series, because there was multiple versions of the Resident Evil 4 spoods. Some of them I need to go back and hide away from humanity, and some of them I already did. My original Resident Evil 4 spood from... oh my god, was that literally 10 years ago? Oh, Jesus Christ. When I was just some middle schooler, inspired by the Shaun Clark, who is in our Q&A right now, many, many years ago. And let me tell ya, that one is a prime example of how not to do parodies. And is a great example of the whole thing I said many, many years ago on this channel about, if you're gonna make a parody I already did, or send love letters, try not to be overly rip-offy. So, yeah, I did it a long time ago, and I redid it on the same channel because I had some voice actors who made it slightly better than my original could ever fucking do, but then I backed out of that one and did it again on the DarkAbridgerEX channel. The difference between the DarkAbridger ones and the ones on my DarkAbridgerEX one is that I actually wrote a script, whereas in the original I improv'd everything, and that was bad. It was really bad. My improv is shit back in the day. So when I started again on Resident Evil 4, the Abridged channel, it was still within this same time period when I was still shit at doing spoods. Eventually, around high school, I stopped. As I referenced in the original episode 4, I referenced that I was starting up from 3 years ago. I stopped because I just turned into a video game channel. I just started playing games, and that was it. After I started Resident Evil 6 back up again for the story that we all know for that one, I looked back and checked my Resident Evil 4. I was like, you know what? I should start this up again, and I should finish it. So, I did that. Look at it now. I finished it. Of course, I had to fucking reboot the series again after version B of episode 5. Or was it 6? One of those episodes, I started rebooting the series again. And this time, I made it good. I made it better. I could look back and be proud of it. So, after all that, we came back to that. And then, eventually, here we are, today. It's done. I just went off about the whole story about how this series came to start and ended. I'm sorry, but you'll have to deal with it.
What was your thought process in doing the voice you did for your characters? Be as annoying as humanly possible. That's pretty much it. Yeah. That sums it up. just be annoying because Leon, help! I'm so useless. Yeah. That probably broke the fucking sound barrier, but whatever.
I think the voice I planned for Ada was just attempting to be the slow, seductual temptress that she seems like she is. But I don't know, like, I don't really think my voice sounds that mature. Like, I think I probably should have did her a little more mature, but I just can't do that with my voice and still keep the sexual tone in it. So anyway, that's what I was going for, but it was a little harder, like when she would scream or whatever she did. I think I kind of lost it, but that was what I tried to do anyway, is just be the confident, sexy woman that she is. And hopefully that came out like it was supposed to.
Well, when I think of Hunnigan, I never see her outside a suit, so she's really a business lady. Of course, she's working for the president, so she has to have a certain seriousness that comes and alludes to her. But how Dante wrote her, she has a very worrywart side and a sarcastic side too, which is hilariously done and put together.
For Salazar, essentially I had to sort of go back in my memory and sort of remember exactly kind of how he sounded in the game and basically imitate that to the best of my ability. I think I'm kind of close though. When I watched the original cutscenes again, I was like, yeah, there are a couple of differences. For example, Salazar's voice
It isn't actually this high in the real game.
That I was actually shocked about, because I always remembered Salazar sounding exactly like how I voiced him. For the Ganados, I don't know exactly how I thought about this, but I thought of a more gravelly version of my voice. I don't think I'm not sure if that sounds exactly how I did it in the series, because my voice has changed a lot ever since I began the series, but essentially that's how I thought up the voices for all the characters that I ended up portraying.
Well, I read the script. I usually go in blind my first take, read the specs my second, and then the third, I take it all in and go from there. Also, I prefer to try to tell a story each time for the characters as well, and see how they come out.
For me, lots of anger, bitterness, things like that. No, for me, so I mean, it's just one character. It's not plural at this point, but my character was a long time existing character from my shows, so he's well established, and the motivation has been there for a while. But basically, my Leon's motivation is just he's bitter and angry at the world and hates everything, and it's kind of comes from my personality. And like when I'm angry, I'm playing video games or something, and I get that Leon voice and I get pissed off, and I just kind of took that aspect of me and turned it into a full-time character, and he just kind of evolved from there. That's pretty much it. That's how it goes for Leon. He's an angry boy.
So my notes for Leon, when I did Leon originally, we're gonna continue to reference the original as shit as it was. I was being a discount Shaun Clark, which, oh my god, I used to fucking do. Are you fucking for reals? When I did my original Leon, I did a discount Shaun Clark, which, let me see. Ashley, you stupid little bitch! I thought I told you to wait in that dumpster! All you ever do is bitch and moan. Fuck! Girl, god damn it! Why do you smell so bad? That's how I fucking did my original Leon for the longest time. Of course, this was with my younger voice, so it doesn't sound the same as it does now. And, yeah, it was truly a discount Shaun Clark Leon. Days of Our Lives, Leon, and, I regret it. But then eventually, I went through several thousand fucking voice changes, cause then, when Resident Evil 6 came around, I was still doing Leon like that for one episode, and then, of course, the whole story about the changing of Leon voices is already on the Resident Evil 6 Q&A. But when I started Resident Evil 4 back up, and I was doing Leon from that time, we had lost Jason. You know, so I think I had to come back into the game with Leon. When I did my original voice for Leon when we resumed Resident Evil 4, I tried to make a difference between the Resident Evil 4 Leon and Resident Evil 6 Leon as like a reference to the fact that, hey, there was a different voice actor for Resident Evil 4 Leon and Resident Evil 6 Leon, both with the names Matt in it. So I wanted to be like a slightly higher but not as deep as Resident Evil 6 Leon with the Leon voice that I did at the time. I went through several cycles. One that sounded too close to my voice, and then one that was slightly deep, and then we eventually just settled with the fucking just stick with one voice and don't even try to like make him sound any younger. But then I don't know, like throughout the series I changed. Eventually I settled on a final voice by like episode 6 or 7. Probably around 7, because I remember my voice being not consistent. I wanted to make him sound smooth. I wanted to do a smooth Leon. I wanted to have like something like this, and then go like this for Resident Evil 6. Hey, I did it! So I was supposed to be something like that, and then eventually I said, fuck it, I can't keep it consistent. Just give one voice for that Leon onwards. So, yeah, it was a really fucking complicated process. But eventually, we did it. When in doubt, pick the deepest voice, because then you can't fucking forget it. For fake Hunnigan, I think I just rolled with what I've always done for Hunnigan. I think if I recall correctly, I've always done Hunnigan with this kind of voice. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to give her like something that wasn't high-pitched. It was just, it's my more obnoxious voice, you know what I mean? And then I gave her a pitch up because I wanted to make it even higher, that I cannot do human leap. For Krauser, I actually went for the original Krauser, like the actual voice actor. You know, in video games, as a voice actor, you start by impersonating people, and I thought I had a pretty good Krauser impersonation. Well, if it isn't the bitch in the red dress, or something like that. I had something going, and I was like, hey, I should definitely voice Krauser in the Spood. But I'm all like, but I want to give it to someone else. And then I ended up having to take the torch anyway. So, I took Krauser, I did the best impersonation of the actual voice actor to the best of my ability, and I could say that I'm pretty proud of it. You could still tell some parts are not him, but I did get a comment that said, hey, he sounds like the original voice actor, and I'm like, well, at least I nailed it. For Mendes, I'm pretty sure I went for a deep voice. I think the original Mendes I did, I'm not gonna fucking look at my horrific original, but I think I did him with just with the something. With the obnoxious voice I did for Hunnigan, but just slightly manlier. But then I eventually settled with the deep voice, which, it sounds like a little Krauser right now, but I did something, and I'm pretty sure I gave him a pitch changer, so that way I can make it more unique. Pitch changer, when you can't fucking do it yourself, and it's just an amateur production, you don't need to fucking be able to do it. Sadler, I'm pretty sure it's obvious as fuck that I went for Russian. I went for stereotypical bad Russian accent. See, Sadler's a voice actor in the actual game. Always gave me some Russian vibe or something. So I gave him a Russian accent. I gave him the whole Russian complex, even though he's supposed to be a Spaniard. Oh well, Russian it is, so I did that. When I did the merchant, The main reason I did the merchant too was because of the whole, like, you know, Matt did Leon and the merchant, so I'm like, well, I better be Leon and the merchant then, you know? For the merchant, I think I did try to go for the merchant like almost everybody else does when they do it, because it's kind of hard not to do a voice that's not like the actual merchant, you know? It's kind of like those irreplaceable voices, like, you know, in Days of Our Lives, you can turn the saddler who I do, you know, as Russian to take off the damn pants, and, you know, and that'd be fine and all, but the merchant's irreplaceable, so I had to do the merchant in this, welcome, what are you buying, what are you selling? That voice was naturally cancerous, but it did the job, and I had to do it like that. And of course, I had to pitch change her. That's just the only way I could have done it. It had to be around the same deep range as that. I mean, I could have had someone else who actually is naturally deep do it, but that would take away the whole reference that I was going for. I do like making little references like that and connections. I don't know what to say for El Gigante. I don't remember my voice, and I'm not gonna look back. So, I did a voice. Negro was someone I did with the idea of fitting the rich castle theme. I imagined myself as a butler and tried to imagine a butler voice for him. And of course, because I was a fucking monster, I made sure that I gave him like some form of voice effect or whatever the fuck. Sparky the dog is all I have to do is become a high-pitched voice. Arf, arf! I was adorable and kawaii! And I lived. I didn't get smashed by El Gigante, because PETA would come after me. For etc. roles, I'm pretty sure I just went with the first voice that came into mind, and pretty much they all have, like, I'm pretty sure I gave at least one variation of each, like a high-pitched low voice in the middle. Whatever the fuck, I don't know. I like doing this one the best!
Question 3. Is there a series/game you'll never do an abridgment on or voice for?
School days. No. Just no. Nuh-uh. We ain't going there. I don't do the hentais. That's just my own personal thing, though.
I'm not sure if there's necessarily a series or game that I won't do an abridgment or voice for. I'm not really that picky about parts, so not really. I mean, I guess if I feel uncomfortable, like if I don't think my voice really fits, I wouldn't. I mean, if the director or whatever thinks I'm good, then I'll still do it. But yeah, otherwise, there's not really a thing that I wouldn't try, I guess. I mean, hentai might be kind of awkward, but, you know, Dante throws some suggestive things in there anyway, so here I am, still doing work for him, so clearly it doesn't bother me that much. Just kidding, Dante, I love you.
I can't really think of anything regarding games and series.
Boku no Pico. That's it, just Boku no Pico. And if you don't know what that is, if none of you know what that is, just do not look it up. I swear, do not look it up. For the sake of your sanity, do not.
Not really.
I don't really think so. I mean, for me, it's like the more obscure or random or weird the game is, the more it opens itself up to be made into an abridgment or machinima or whatever you want to call it. But, I mean, there are some kind of games that don't really tailor to that kind of storytelling and writing and whatnot. Like first-person shooters, I don't think I would really ever be up to doing like a Call of Duty or something like that, or for the most part, anything first-person. The only real exception I could really foresee for that would be Resident Evil 7, but I think that format as a whole just, it's tougher to tell a more engaging story with, because it's catered to, you know, the first person element where you're there, you're experiencing the story and you're in there, you're controlling it, you know. That's what the first person experience is for, in my opinion. So other than that, I mean, anything's fair game. Like I said, the weirder, the better, for sure.
This game, that game, this anime, and this anime. You know, just look at this fucking video. I've already answered this question 1,000 times and given it the same smart-ass answer. There you go. Okay, thanks, bye. Have you played Resident Evil 4? Oh my god, it's a complete copy and paste.
So there's a typo, since he just copy and pasted this from the Resident Evil 6 spood, and it says, have you played RE6? I'm assuming he means 4.
Have you played RE4 or any of the RE games prior to voicing in it?
Yes, actually, I own the copy of Resident Evil 6 right over here. I remember being incredibly frustrated that there was no Jill Valentine honorable mention whatsoever. Dude, that shit pissed me off. I was just like, man, I freaking love Jill Valentine, and she's like a staple to the Resident Evil series. Like, she's legitimately one of my favorite characters. That shit pissed me off so much. I did enjoy Resident Evil 6 as a game. I'm not sure how to feel about it as being part of the franchise, but I did appreciate it as a game. I don't hate it. I do like the characters in it. I like what they did with Ada. I like how they did her side chapters. I loved that much. Is this... Oh man, I thought this was for the thing where I was, yeah, so anyway, I lost my train of thought. I'm still waking up in a way. But, yeah, I did play quite a few of the Resident Evil games. I even played 5. I know Dante hates that game with a burning passion. But I did play 5, and I did enjoy it as a game. I appreciate that they actually, used Jill in it, and that they showed that, like, Chris and Jill had some kind of connection and stuff, and that Jill meant a fuck ton to Chris. And then, and then they fucking ripped that shit away in Resident Evil 6. And if you look in Resident Evil 6 and you go into, like, all the little files and stuff, like, for the game, you're not going to see any mention of Jill, but you see mentions of Sheva, and hear mentions of Sheva in the game. Oh, what about your partner? Sheva! Bitch, what about Jill? Okay. Anyway, moving on, because I have ranted more than my fair share. But yes, I have played Resident Evil 6, and I have played other Resident Evil games, and I do know at least a bit about the franchise and the characters and blah, blah, blah. Okay.
I have played Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6, actually in that order, so that works out. But yes, I did play Resident Evil 4 prior to voicing in it. It was good. Leon's sexy, so yeah, it was a fun game. The end.
Yeah, I have. My very first game was Resident Evil 2 with Leon and Claire. And just moving through the series, I played just about every Resident Evil game. And of course, when you're playing a game and you're a big fan of it, it's naturally to want to do voices for it. And not only that, it's just the interest is already there.
Yes, I have. I've actually played quite a few of them. The very first Resident Evil game I played was actually Resident Evil 4, so that's kind of ironic that my introduction to the series I would end up parodying in the end. I also played the first Resident Evil. I think it was the remake edition for the GameCube, and I remember it being pretty alright. I do love the updates they did with the voice acting, though. It actually makes the cutscenes a lot more watchable when you're trying to take the story so seriously. The original game, the cutscenes, they're so campy and hilarious, but only in the so bad it's good way. I also played Resident Evil 2 on the Nintendo 64, and I think that may be my second favorite. I haven't really gotten that far, but the gameplay is still really fun, and I'm pretty much engrossed in the whole story, and I do like the atmosphere it provides. The only thing I don't like about the old Resident Evil games are those fucking tank controls. I really do not like them. It's just... it makes movement so much more difficult and much more of a hassle. Other than that, I have also played Resident Evil 3, which I didn't play for very long, but I do remember liking it from the brief moments that I've played it. Out of all the ones I've played, though, I think the only one I disliked was Resident Evil: The Umbrella Chronicles, mainly because I just found it so monotonous and boring! I've heard the Dark Side Chronicles is much better, and I am open to trying it, but yeah, the Umbrella Chronicles it wasn't that good of a game, so I basically have little to no interest in checking out the sequel. Who knows, I may eventually, though, because I hear Dark Side Chronicles is a much better game. I haven't played any of the more recent Resident Evil games, though from what I've heard about them, especially stuff like Operation Raccoon City, I hear that's a good thing.
I played Resident Evil 4 when I was a kiddo.
Duh. Of course, I've been a Resident Evil fan since the beginning, since the original on the PlayStation 1. So, I mean, I own every single Resident Evil game that's come out to date, several times over on multiple platforms with different versions and collector's editions and yada yada yada. I've played through every single one of them multiple times over. The only exception would be Biohazard Gun Survivor 2. I have not completed that game because it is just so god awful. Even with my level of fandom, I got about maybe halfway through and I just couldn't do it. I've been meaning to go back, and one day I will go back and beat it, but I just, it's so bad. But I've even completed Operation Raccoon City. I've completed Resident Evil Gaiden, all of them. The shitty ones I've probably only done once or twice, but everything else I've done, 4+ times. So I'm a little bit familiar with the Resident Evil franchise, just a teeny tiny bit.
It's pretty fucking obvious I've played Resident Evil, and I'm pretty sure I've given the same smartass answer of saying, yes, I have, no duh. But I'll never be as good as Shaun Senpai. Have you seen this guy's Resident Evil collection? For the roles that had multiple VAs, such as Ashley and Ada, how did the VAs feel about it, having to live up to the previous one?
In my case, I was not initially cast as Ashley, the little annoying biatch that we all know and love, who's all, cake, and Leon, yeah. So, yeah, honestly, I was just like, okay, cool, sure, I'll fill that role. I want to be this annoying little shrieky biatch. Yeah, I'll do it. And I don't think I was actually the first choice for Ada because Dante lost words, what is English? Dante originally lost contact with the other Ada, I believe. He can correct me if I'm wrong. His original Ada is not me. I was not his original Ada. I was definitely a fill-in Ada. And quite frankly, I'm not one of those people who's like, oh man, I got shoes to fill. I'm just like, okay, I've got a guideline. I will go with this guideline. And you either like it or you hate it. You know what I mean? I do make an effort to make sure that, whenever I have to fill in a role that someone else was doing, that I'm putting forth my best, especially if I have some kind of personal attachment to the character themselves. For example, I do know about Ada and I do know about Ashley. I know Ashley is just this meme of annoyance to Leon, so that's how I went with it. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna take my own approach at it and I'm gonna roll with it. And for me, Ada is this trollish, gorgeous biatch, the bitch in the red dress. So I kind of just rolled with it. I'm just the kind of person who just rolls with things and sees how it goes, you know what I mean? So, I didn't stress myself out about it because I just didn't want to stress about it. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna go with the flow. You like it or you hate it.
This answer kind of goes like what I did with how I answered the Resident Evil 6 spood version of this question, and actually I don't remember what Ada sounded like. I don't know if I ever really listened to her in the previous ones. I must have, because I think I watched everything. But anyway, I think she did really amazing and probably had the more mature tone than I did, so it was hard to live up to it, but I guess Dante was in dire need of an Ada that he offered the job back to me, so I guess he had to make do with what he had. So I don't think I did that well, but hopefully it didn't mess it up too much. I think she definitely did a lot better than I did, so. Well, that doesn't take much though. But anyway, yeah, she did good. They all did good. If there were more, I don't remember.
For me, it was pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, so when I had to take over as Ashley, that was really hard. I remember, Marion just being all whoa, she's super, wait, hold on. That would not be the one from the original series that, I'm not sure if she got her time of day. I think she did. It was just bullshit, okay? Fuck. I have to constantly be in this high-pitched voice and scream Leon a lot. It's so hard. And then Ada, it's just this voice. I feel like the best Ada has got to be Lindsey, because she's the one that gets the job done the best. So yeah. But jokes aside, this is definitely not my question, but I will give props to my lovely voice actresses who took up the torch after the previous one set, which so Lindsey, the original Ada, I'm so glad she's here. Thanks for contacting me when Michi fell off the face of the earth, because I don't know what I would have done without an Ada voice, especially when one of my other ones just died of mic break and never got back to me. Tragedy. Lynn did it pretty good. pretty good succession of the previous Ashley. It was kind of hard for her, because by then she was getting PG in her lines, so she couldn't swear, and it was getting hard for her to do Ashley lines, which were not PG. So, yeah. I was pretty glad when Michi, ironically decided to take up the role of Ashley after we had that little reference of, Ashley and Sherry in Resident Evil 6. And then boom, here she is, actually Ashley. And of course, there is a charm to our original Ashley and then Michi. But they are both loud people, and they both take up the torch well. So, props to you, Michi, for being you. Because originally, I wouldn't have known this side of Michi existed if we didn't cast her as Sherry. Because she originally was Ada in Resident Evil 6, so all I knew her for was her deep, low character voices and not silly ones like Ashley. So, bravo.
What was the funniest moments you had when we're recording for the series? Any funny stories?
I have way too many. Almost every single thing I've recorded for Dante has some kind of funny story to it, to an extent, especially the times when I left in some of like the bloopers and such. Just like, my memory is not the best, so I can't go into exact detail on things, but I know there are a lot of things that were just really, like, they were just really funny to me, and I just found it freaking hilarious. Like, I just started losing my shit and improving at some points with some of the things that he had. And, you know, for the ones that I thought were really good or at least amusing and entertaining for him to listen to, and it's not like, oh god, ew, what a chore to listen to this thing. You know, I left it in for him to listen to, and I can't remember if he actually kept some of the stuff or if some of it turned into like an inside joke or something. I know that there's a lot of stuff that turned into an inside joke. And there's some stuff where I really remember a lot more sharply, or more sharp, whatever. It clicks a lot better when I see his little notes, and I'm just like, yeah, that thing. I remember that thing. And I just go into like this whole little bit of nostalgia, and it's just magic. So yeah, there were a lot of funny moments. I actually enjoy working with Dante and his scripts and stuff. It's great. It's good stuff, especially because it's just like at the time when I started working with him, it was just like I felt like I was able to just kind of like, you know, have fun and be in character and stuff. Like, that was definitely shown more or less for every role, I think, so far. Now that I think about it, it's just like almost everything is just, it's just fun because I get into character and it's great. And there's a lot of funny moments, and I'm sure that there's gonna be more funny moments to come. Spoiler alert, I'm not gone. Okay, well, moving on.
I actually don't have many funny moments when I record. Most of it is just Dante sending me numerous voice messages saying how horrible I did. No, just kidding. I always have to redo a lot of lines, so I guess in a way that's funny that it's just like I'm constantly messing up and having to redo lines many, many times, and I guess it's kind of like a running joke, like, well, here's your redos, hope you enjoy. So it's like, oh, well, I saw this coming. But yeah, I guess otherwise there's not really any specific funny stories. I just kind of go with the flow, I guess.
I have a funny story from Resident Evil 6. It was when Helena and Hunnigan were like talking, and Leon is like, why am I in the middle of this? And Helena is like talking to Hunnigan, and I guess she was like flirting, and Hunnigan's like, oh, Helena, no, not now. Hunnigan is talking business with Leon. And Helena just continues talking, and Hunnigan is like, oh my god, stop. Please stop. I'm trying to talk business with Leon.
I think pretty much all my bloopers where I ended up coughing so much that I almost hacked up a lung, I think pretty much that could qualify for that. For some reason, I just find it so funny whenever I try to overdo it on the voice, because Salazar and the Ganados involved a lot of yelling and screaming. So, unfortunately, I would do it so much. I would yell so much that I would forget, oh yeah, I have to get a drink of water in order to preserve my voice for the next line. And it would happen usually like either halfway through the script or when it's a really crucial scene and I have to record multiple takes in order to get it right. And only like once or twice did I actually go get a drink of water. But all those occurrences of me coughing during recording, I think they'll be in the bloopers somewhere. But it did worry me a little bit that I would shred my vocal cords. But looking back at it now, I just laugh and laugh.
There was a scene where Dante had me stuffed in a bag, and I was panicking and getting kicked all over the place in the script. So basically what I did was I got a paper towel, I shoved it in my mouth and just started screaming and pretending to get kicked like crazy. It was really fun. Yeah, pull up a scene if Dante can allow it. Can we pull up a scene from there?
Together. What the hell is that?
Oh God! Why did you burn me? Is it because I'm Dante's Inferno? Ah! Sorry.
Disclaimer, I still thought it was cool. Bleh. I like that one. That's good.
Being that I pretty much came in like literally right at the end, and for such a short period of time, I don't really have too much to contribute here. But when I do my line there in the Kodak conversation, Spood Leon says,
Then how about we both do ourselves a favor and hang up? I have a Russian rapist to deal with right now.
and originally Days Leon would just say, sounds great. But I kind of made an adjustment there to the line that's actually in there where it's like,
A Russian... What? Listen, other me. Next time you think about calling me, don't. Now get the fuck off the line.
but yeah.
This is hard. I would have to actually look at all the bloopers again, because I can call up favorite lines any other day. But I guess my favorite lines to record for was any of the lines where Leon just was like, whatever, I don't really care, you're not that much of a problem, oh, I'm a badass, nothing can stop me, kind of thing. His attitude in the series, his way of being like this badass is just a comedic badass to specify, was fun. I don't really think I've had moments where I stopped doing my lines and had a laugh out loud moment. Probably with Sadler, if I remember correctly, because there was a time on the stream, but that's another story. That's something that's kind of self-told in the blooper, I think. I really don't remember, but yeah.
Any favorite lines from the series or ones that you loved saying the most?
Not the first question, but the previous one. The previous question I just answered. But there are way too many. But I liked breaking the sound barrier with Ashley's screeching of Leon! And all that stupid stuff, that's always fun. I really liked when I voiced Sherry because that was just too ham. That stuff was just so freaking ham. I loved that shit so much. Her being this fucking Applejack's fairy or whatever, that was pretty fucking magical. That was my jam. That's why I fucking love Ashley. She's such a fucking ridiculous thing. I can just go ham and it works out.
I didn't really have a whole lot of lines in this one compared to 6, so it's kind of hard to say. But I don't know. I guess I just generally like Ada's overall sarcastic nature, so I think, I don't know, just all of her lines are fun. Of course, the ever popular nope is always fun.
My favorite one from Resident Evil 4 is when I don't know if this was the last one or second to last or third to last, tick tock, tick tock. Anyway, it was sounding valley and worried at the same time. Oh, it was the last one. She's like, Leon, you haven't even looked at my glasses. And Leon is like, whatever.
Well, to say a few. I bought the coffee in France!
Oh mon dieu! You killed Rojo! You cannot!
Or probably where Salazar was like,
I'll have you know, Mr. Kennedy, I'm 20 years old.
And then the response, Leon's response was, oh, that's so cute, you're trying to fake your age for me. But that's pretty much all I can think of for now. But there are a lot more that I enjoyed hearing and that I enjoyed acting out. So there pretty much was no shortage of favorite lines for me in this series.
You touch my tra-la-la! Can you cut to that one? Can we cut to that one too?
You touch my tra-la-las! Fucking!
I like that one.
Some of the ones that made me laugh would be like when Ashley is like, I came in like a wrecking ball in that lava room when you have to break through the wall. And then Leon's like, that song doesn't even exist yet. What have you done? That was pretty good. And back to our kind of crossover line, I thought it was funny when Spood Leon is like, God damn, anything goes with this fucking radio. It's definitely a Days Leon moment for sure. So that made me laugh. I also liked when Leon's getting the parasite removed and he's got these like psychedelic like hallucinations or whatever, and he's like, is that a frog? I don't know, for some reason that made me chuckle. But there's a lot of good moments in this show for sure.
Favorite lines from the series has got to be like I said, I love the whole like, how Leon just kind of, sometimes he's getting antagonized, sometimes he does the antagonizing. The moments between him and Salazar are just fucking pure gold in my opinion. Like the time when he fools Salazar to think he fell for the pit trap, and everything that just happened afterwards, the phone call, the hanging up, and the whole like, I made it to you while you were telling me what I had to fucking do to get to you thing. All that spiel in that episode and the one before that was just fucking grand. I love the chemistry that Joe and I had got going here with our voices and the whole comedic direction it went. It was pretty fucking great. But there are like a few other banter moments between Leon and some other characters that I enjoy a lot. But the one that I recall off the top of my head is definitely the one between him and Salazar. It was just too good.
Which etc. role was your favorite to voice, for those who voiced any? Let's go and kick it back all the way to the Resident Evil 6 thing when I was active in that and when I was able to be in that before, unfortunately I fell off the face of the earth for a while. That I really liked voicing the monster thing. I can't even remember what its name was, and the files are on my other computer, not this one, so I wouldn't have been able to look at it and bring it back as a reference on my laptop. I found that was just really fun for me to voice. It was just so ridiculous, because I like the way that my voice does all these crazy ranges, and when I get to take advantage of that, it's pretty fun. Not gonna lie, I enjoy it.
I actually don't think I had any etc. roles. I probably was supposed to, but I was just really lazy about it. Actually, no, I think I did record a couple of them. I don't think I actually ended up hearing myself at all in the final take, which, whatever. But yeah, so there was that, and then there was, I think he called her Maria, who was supposed to be one of the Chainsaw Sisters, but I don't think she actually ever made an appearance after I came in, so I don't think those lines were ever used. But those are fun, I guess. Like, it's fun to just be crazy. I don't know if that counts as an etc. role, but that's all I had. So sure, we'll go with that, because it was the only option.
I think without a doubt, I loved voicing the very first Ganado that Leon encounters, because in the game that's such a serious and atmospheric moment. But we end up destroying the atmosphere in a comedic fashion by just having the guy saying, "That's not the credit card line, cheapskate! Get the fuck out of my house!" For some reason, I just found that always so hilarious, and without a doubt, that was my favorite side character to voice.
My favorite character to voice was Ian Pabito, but he died.
Pretty much the only lines that I did were for an etc. role, so I guess they're all my favorites. Go me.
My favorite role has got to be Sparky the dog. I think.
Question 6.
Is Dante nuts?
I said it was a fucking copy and paste, but fucking goddamn.
Do you breathe air? The answer is yes. I mean, of course. Obviously, like hello. In a good way, though. Eee.
I already answered this question back in the Resident Evil 6 Spood, so I'll just say the same thing. Yes, he can get crazy. He's definitely crazy for taking on so many projects, but he does an awesome job with it, so I don't know how he does that, but he's good about it. And he certainly drives me nuts with my numerous redos I have to constantly do again and again, but hey, I deserve it because I just can't get things down sometimes, so Yeah, we won't go into that. But anyway, yes, Dante, you're nuts. But, you're still my little Toto-kun, even though that doesn't really exist or whatever. But hey, we'll just not go there either. Okay, bye.
Is Dante nuts? Yeah, he is geniusly, insanely nuts. He's creative, and it's really a huge honor and pleasure to be a part of the series. So thank you, Dante.
What kind of question is that? Of course he is. But I mean that in the best way possible, man.
I made him nuts.
I'm pistachios. Fuck you. This is just.
Any words you'd like to say for your fans?
Or something. I don't know. Guys, be careful when you eat cake, okay? Just be super duper careful around cake. It may not be a lie, but bitch, it might be. Okay. Yeah, you guys are great. Thanks for supporting the series and all that stuff and supporting Dante. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go and friggity roll.
As for the fans, I do want to say thank you to everyone. Obviously, without you guys, this spood wouldn't have made it to the end, so thanks you, everybody. Thanks, everyone, for the support and for sticking through to the end. I know, obviously, this took a while, because like I said, 600 years ago, 6,000 years ago, whatever I said, this actually was a long project in the making, so I don't even know. Well, obviously there's no way for me to know, but yeah, I guess if there was anyone who actually stuck through from the very beginning when he first started, that would be awesome. So thanks to you guys for lasting so long, and thanks to everybody else who jumped in along the way. Yeah, you guys are awesome, and thanks for giving me a part-time job I don't get paid for. Thanks, you guys are awesome.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being a part of the series and continuing to grow with it. Wow, I've been a part of this for about 4 years, and it's a huge honor to see the comments and the funny dialogues and just laughing with you all. You guys make this the series it's supposed to be and the way it should be. So thank you guys so much, and it's been a real pleasure and an honor to voice with you guys.
Nothing much except thank you so much for watching the series. Thank you for supporting us, and most of all, thank you for laughing. I think that was probably the most rewarding part. As long as we were able to make people laugh, then I think we were doing our job right. Just getting it even just 1 or 2 people to laugh, it's a rewarding experience when it comes to working in a comedy like this. I really do appreciate all the support that you've given this series and to all of us. So basically, to sum up, just thanks again, and I'm glad we were able to make you laugh.
I am your...
Thank you guys for watching is the big one, because, everything that we do when we make Machinima is for you guys. So your commitment to the show and your support it's pretty much mandatory to keep these things going. If nobody wants to watch them, there's no reason to make them. So it's a very enjoyable thing to create, but at the end of the day, it's for you guys. So thank you very much. Machinima is a lot of work. We do like to do it, but at the end of the day, the best part about it is when you guys enjoy it. So just keep watching, and thank you.
Well, thanks, guys. I'm glad you're here. Okay, no, seriously though, thank you. Thank you for the few existing people who's been with this series from the start. You know who you are. I'm looking at you. You can doki now. Who has witnessed this fucking series gone from the pile of shit that it was to the final product, which it is now, and it's great. And then for those of you who, kind of rolled in as the series was in its good state, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for seeing the series when it was not shit. And sticking around for the bajillion years it took me to finally finish this thing. 10 fucking years. And thank you, Shaun Senpai, for existing, being the initial role model that got me going on this little train. I sucked, but I eventually got good, and I really do appreciate you making a cameo and actually working with you. It's surreal for real, dude. I can't fucking thank you enough, because it's how many people in this world have their senpai notice them and then work with them. It's fucking crazy, let me tell you that. because one of my senpais didn't notice me, and that's why we're here. Ironically enough, hey. But Shaun senpai noticed me, so that's all that matters. Hey. Oh yeah, and one more thing. I finished 3 spoons. Wait, hold on. Wait. Yeah, 4. 4? Was it 4 or is it 5? I don't fucking know. Anyways, we're making progress. This is great. Now all we need to finish is season 1 for Manly Idols. But yeah, this is great. Keep it going, guys. Keep the support going. Really do appreciate. Okay, cool. Peace out.